Moving on to our third oral presentation for today. Let's welcome Mr. Muhammad Irfan bin Amiruddin. Okay, let me introduce about him. Okay, he is a UiTM Shah Alam student and currently pursuing his master's degree in applied chemistry. He graduated with a bachelor's degree in applied chemistry in UiTM Arau Perlis in 2017. Okay, his current field of study focusing on photocatalytic reduction of free fatty acid in waste cooking oil driven by a light source. Okay, his title for today is Free Fatty Acid Reduction of Waste Cooking Oil Using Zinc Oxide, Photocatalyst Driven by Ultraviolet B Irradiation. Okay, please welcome Mr. Irfan.
Right. Can you see my slide?
Okay, we can see your slide and your
All right.
voice is clear.
All right. Thank you very much, MC, for the brief introduction. Assalamualaikum, and a very good afternoon to everyone. Today, I am very pleased to present and share with you our project on free fatty acid reduction of waste cooking oil using zinc oxide photocatalyst driven by ultraviolet UV irradiation. Without further ado, let's move on to the introduction of this study. Waste cooking oil, or also known as WCO, consists of different types of essential fatty acids, which can be used as a potential feedstock for biodiesel production. Research shows that catalytic transesterification process is the most common method in producing biodiesel from waste oils, but due to the high content of free fatty acid in WCO, the catalytic transesterification method was not favorable. Hence, heterogeneous catalytic esterification reaction of free fatty acid in WCO with small alcohol must be done in order to reduce the high amount of free fatty acid content in WCO. Although conventional catalytic esterification method was proved to reduce the free fatty acid content in WCO, however, it uses thermal catalytic process, which significantly increase the energy usage for biodiesel production, which result in the higher production cost. Therefore, only few studies have reported that catalytic esterification process could be done in reducing the free fatty acid content in WCO by utilizing photocatalyst in ambient condition. Therefore, our study was designed to synthesize and characterize zinc oxide photocatalyst for photocatalyzed esterification of WCO, where it would use in reduction of free fatty acid in WCO via UV light irradiation with different parameter sets. We also hypothesized that synthesized zinc oxide photocatalyst would reduce the FFA content in WCO with methanol under UV light irradiation. Next, we move on to the next section, which is the method of the study. First and foremost was the preliminary analysis of WCO. The collected WCO was filtered with filter paper to remove any solid impurities. The initial acid number, AI, determination was done by simple titration against ethanolic potassium hydroxide and was calculated using the following equation. After we determined the initial acid number, the catalyst was prepared. The process which zinc acetate dihydride was stirred in distilled water for 1 hour, and the prepared sodium hydroxide solution was added dropwise to zinc acetate dihydride under vigorous stirring. The mixture was subjected to 20 minutes of ultrasonification and was centrifuged for 15 minutes at 2800 RPM. And then the supernatant was removed, and then it was kept in a hot oven for 3 hours at 100 degrees Celsius. And after the preparation of the catalyst, the characterization was employed, which is SRD, for identification and characterization of the photocatalyst based on the compound pattern of diffraction to determine their purity. Next, we move on to the crucial part of the study, which was the photocatalytic esterification test of WCO. First of all, the required amount of photocatalyst and methanol was added into 10 grams of WCO. Reaction started as light source was switched on. Stirring was employed for homogeneous irradiation, and mixture then subjected to centrifuge at 2500 RPM for 50 minutes. Then the lower layer was removed and the catalyst was recovered. The film produced will be used for further testing. So as you can see in the table below, the responding variable that was analyzed were methanol to oil ratio, catalyst loading in weight percent, and UV reaction time in hours, while the fixed parameters were UV lamp power in watt and stirring speed in RPM. The obtained film will be subjected to the same method as the preliminary analysis of WCO to get the final acid number, AF, and then the reduced composition of the FFA content in WCO. We can determine the percent conversion of FFA using the following equation. this equation. And besides, we also the reusability of the catalyst was tested to determine the catalyst performance. And then now let's move on to the result and discussion of this study. As you can see, the graph show here is the SRD spectra of the prepared zinc oxide photocatalyst. Noted that the zinc oxide photocatalyst was prepared via sol gel method from the previous method. From the graph shown here, zinc oxide photocatalyst exhibit sharp peaks that clearly prove that it was crystalline in structure. It also has a hexagonal Wozniak structure stipulated in the SRD spectra with distinguished peak relating to the diffraction planes. And from the calculated Scherer equation, it was determined that the crystallite size of the photocatalyst was 75.95 nanometer. Next up is the findings on the photocatalytic esterification of WCO with different parameter sets. As you can see in the first graph, from graph A, we can obviously see that at 12%,
Sorry to
12 wait,
interrupt, Mr. Irfan.
oh, there's
Okay, you have
5 minutes more.
another 5 minutes. Yeah.
All right, right. Okay, thank you. At 12% weight percent catalyst loading, 68.44% of FFA conversion was achieved at 2-hour UV reaction time, and 12 to 1 methanol to oil molar ratio. Further increase of catalyst loading, further increase in catalyst loading, the percent FFA conversion rate does not increase significantly. A sufficient amount of catalyst is needed to increase the active center of the reaction. However, excessive amount of catalyst will promote an increase in viscosity of the reaction system and halting the progress of the reaction, making the esterification reaction complicated. Next, from the graph B, the maximum percent FFA conversion was achieved at the similar 68.44% at 12 to 1 methanol to oil molar ratio. When the ratio of the methanol to oil increased further, the percent FFA conversion began to decrease due to the reversible esterification reaction. And excess methanol is needed to drive the reversible reaction forward to promote conversion rate. As methanol dosage increased, the forward reaction system is inhibited, hence retarded the percent conversion rate, percent free conversion rate. From the graph C, we can see that without UV light irradiation, the percent FFA conversion was below 10%. As compared with with UV light irradiation, the percent conversion was achieved at maximum within 2 hours. Continuous irradiation would increase the reaction system temperature and was easily to cause a production reaction. Next, from the reusability test graph, we test run 5 cycle of test run was carried out, and we can see that after 5 cycle, the percent conversion slightly decreased and able to maintain conversion rate above 50%. And as of conclusion, we successfully synthesized zinc oxide photocatalyst by sol gel method and utilizing the prepared zinc oxide photocatalyst in reduction of FFA in WCO via UV light irradiation. We concluded that the best parameter for photocatalyzed esterification process by UV light was 12% 12% catalyst loading, 12 to 1 methanol to oil molar ratio, and 2 hours of UV reaction time. And these are the reference for use for this presentation. And that is all from me. Thank you for your time. And I would like to note that this is an ongoing project. So the characterization of the catalyst is not much done because we are greatly affected by this COVID situation. So we are unable to get the data at the lab. So right now we are currently to waiting for approval to get back to the lab and head on with our research, and hopefully there are much to improve in this project. Thank you.
Thank you, inshallah. Thank you very much, Mr. Irfan, for the presentation. Okay, now let's start with our Q&A session. Okay, this question from
Okay,
Facebook.
first question, what is the acceptable percent conversion in comparison to your works? Currently, the works on percent conversion rate via UV light irradiation currently is new. I'm not saying like entirely new, but it's a big breakthrough for photocatalytic process. So there are few study that achieve similar percentage in conversion, but acceptable percentage is not like uh, they are just reporting that it was able to convert. There are no standard, or there are not much standard that can be produced to acceptable percent conversion. But in conventional, without using photocatalyst, the acceptable percent conversion rate for FFA conversion must be uh, for in research, it was suggested that 100 above at 100%, or it will be great if can achieve 100%. But as you can see, there are not much on photocatalyst, so there are much to explore in this field.
Okay, there's another question.
Is there any byproduct as for now? Okay, thank you for the question, Dr. Juan, by Haris. The byproduct for the esterification, the byproduct for this reaction system follows the conventional esterification byproduct, which can produce water and biodiesel. Biodiesel is in flame. So from the waste oil, the waste WCO contain a high percent of free fatty acid compared to the triglyceride. So the function of this photocatalytic esterification reaction system is to reduce the percent FFA in order to produce more refined film, to be able to continue to the next reaction, which is the trans-esterification. So the byproduct, the difference between ester and trans-esterification is esterification process is where an acid group of FFA react with methanol to produce film and water, whereas the trans-ester process where triglyceride react with methanol to produce film and glycerol. Noted that there are two film here, but from esterification film, they are more refined compared to the esterification system. So basically, they follow the same reaction system from the conventional. All right.
Okay. Okay, thank you, Mr. Irfan, for the answers and for the wonderful sharing. Okay,
All right. Thank you.
now, okay, thank you. Welcome.